Hi everybody, welcome to Cookin' on the Wild Side. I'm Kat Mattoon and this is Steve McGrath, my great friend and our guest today from Camp Chef Products. You're going to show us some really new, cool stuff,
Of
right?
course. Well, there's always something new and next, right?
I know.
That's what keeps us on our feet.
And I got to get it. You know, I got to be able to show everybody.
We're here to debut it.
You betcha. But the reason and what we're going to be debuting it with is Goose. Goose and lobster. Now,
Interesting. Yeah, you got me. You got me. Interesting combination. I haven't tried it, so this.
All right.
Here we go.
Well, our good friend over in Green, what is it, Maine? Green, Maine.
Yeah.
And he does A&A Lobsters. So absolutely awesome lobsters. We've all had those, and you've seen some of my shows.
You bet.
Okay, so he wanted us to put together a recipe that we could do wild game with. Okay. So I'm going, okay, let's do, and we named it a wing and sea wrap. And we're going to make an orange, let's see, sweet and fire orange dipping sauce to go with it. So we're going to need some goose, right? Well, we've been invited to come up to Sedgway, Colorado.
Yep.
We're staying with Miss Lupe at the
Antique Inn.
Antique Inn.
It's a beautiful place.
Oh man,
it's the building behind us here. It's a wonderful building, very historic. There's a lot of neat things in there. The tour is something you have to start out with. We all started with that yesterday.
Yeah, Miss Lupe, you'll love her.
See it all.
Yeah.
Neat place. Very, very cool area.
Full of antiques.
Full of antiques.
Full of antiques.
Very unique antiques.
Yeah, got to check her out. And also, we're going to go out hunting with a great guide, and he says he's the best goose guide in Colorado. Well, Sedgwick is on the border.
That's right.
Of, let's see, Kansas,
and
Nebraska. So we're right up there in the corner, and they called it the Golden Triangle. Well, we kind of seen this morning why they call it the Golden Triangle.
It was good, and Mike Adams there with Webbed Feet Down. The guy's got it down. The guy's got it down. You know, he is the perfect guide. He knows what he's talking about. He knows the area. He even caters a little to the clients, I think.
Well, yeah, when he's not giving them a hard time.
That's right. We're good for it.
Yeah, but he's a lot of fun. Mike's a great guy, and he's got a beautiful dog, Miss Quinn. So, and she's good.
Yep.
Now, we're going to do a recipe.
Let's cook.
Okay, we're going to do this quick because I know every one of you knows how to chop an onion and all that stuff.
Let's hope.
But first you're going to start off with some really sharp knives, and I like to use Schrade knives. They're a good company, and they make the old timer.
They've been around for old timers. A good name for them because they've been around. What, 19? I saw it on one of the things. 1904, I think.
Something
was the date
like
I
that.
saw.
Yeah.
So great.
And they're always coming out with new stuff too. And this is the new folding fillet knife. So if you're in the field, you know, and you need a sharp knife, why not use your fillet knife?
See, I like coming out with you. You've always got new toys.
Well, yeah, I like toys too. You know, it's not just guys
that
like toys. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice this.
Okay.
Then we'll take those slices and we'll cut them down a little bit, okay, like that. Then we're going to make a few little chops like this.
So you're slicing and dicing.
Slicing and dicing, okay. Now they're kind of big bite size. And what we're going to do is we take 2 pounds of goose breast. Now also you can use this and make it with duck or pheasant or any kind of wild game if you wanted to. We have chosen goose. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing with the bacon. We're going to chop up our bacon.
So I think at this point we've got goose, we've got bacon. The rest of that stuff's just fodder, right? We've got bacon. We could stop at bacon.
Everything has, anything wild game has to have bacon in it. Okay, I mean, I'm all about the bacon. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a Ziploc bag. Okay, that's the best way you can do it, but you can do it in a bowl, plastic bowl if you're home.
Yeah.
We're out in hunting camp here, so I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it in hunting camp. We're going to take that, no we're not. We're going to take our bacon and our goose together, and we're going to take the hatchet part of this set, and we're going to chop it. And we're going to mix it all up. and chop it, chop it, chop it.
So this is making it finer. You talked about some of those diced pieces being a little bit bigger. This is making it
This
smaller.
is making it finer, smaller. It's going to be smaller pieces. You're not going to get a big bite of goose.
Okay.
Okay, because we're mixing it with lobster. So now what we're going to do is do all this, and then we're going to put it all in this bag.
Okay.
Okay? Now, we're going to have to make a marinade.
All right.
So, marinade. We'll give you the recipe, okay? You're going to take your red wine and you're going to cover your meat up with the red wine. Then you're going to take I've got to get my 4 jalapeno peppers chopped and put in there. An onion chopped. Okay.
And a full onion, so that's why I've got 2 of them.
Yep,
So
full onion. Then we're going to put in some dried cranberries. Cranberries. This is going to give it, this is going to give it a little,
wine.
with the red wine, it's going to give it a little bit of a sweet flavor to kind of mix the flavors together. We're going to do, this is the Western style Cajun campfire from High Mountain Seasonings.
Love their stuff.
So yeah, Cajun spices. So we're going to put about 4 tablespoons of that in there. Then we're going to do 1/4 of a cup of Worcestershire sauce. I said that right.
Way to go.
Yeah, for the first time in my life probably. And a tablespoon of soy sauce.
All right.
Okay. Now we've got everything I need in that bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal that bag up, and then you're going to smush it around. Okay. I will have put in all the rest of this meat in there, but you're going to smush it.
Okay.
And then you're going to put it in the ice box, okay? And you're going to put it in and leave it in for about 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
The longer the better. Go with the 48 if you can.
One question for you. I do a lot of beef jerky type things with High Mountain seasoning, actually. But then the way I do it is when I have it sliced up and the seasoning and the cure, I do it in a Ziploc bag. I like to take it out if I can every couple hours, kind of knead it, push it around.
There you go.
Would you do the same thing
yes.
here? Is that going to make a difference?
Exactly the same thing. You'll throw that puppy in your ice box, or if you're out camping, you're going to put it in an ice chest.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is every couple of hours, you're going to get it out, you're going to smoosh it. I call it smoosh it together. You're going to smoosh that bag, okay? Make sure it's sealed good.
You'll find out in a
You'll
hurry
have
if
a
it's
mess
not.
if you don't, okay? So this has been in the cooler for, about 24 hours
Perfect.
now, okay? So we're going to set that aside, and we're going to do our lobster.
Okay.
Now, look at this pretty guy.
That's a big lobster, and I have my doubts that it would come from Colorado.
No, this lobster didn't come from Colorado. This pretty guy came from A&A Lobster out of Maine. And Mike over there, go to AandALobster.com. And you can order these. And you can order, like if you wanted to have flown in fresh live lobster, he'll fly them in to you overnight.
And different sizes. I know my family and I had a couple weeks back, and they were smaller size because we're a smaller family. We didn't need big ones, and it worked out perfect. The neat thing was, though, like you touched on, they were live lobsters, so when they showed up, I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. It was actually kind of intriguing to watch them look at these lobsters and their claws. They have bands on the claws, so there were no worries. But to a kid, there is a worry. It was
well,
fun.
it looks
so
like
anyway,
a monster.
But we didn't get these shipped here live. Otherwise, we'd be
No.
in trouble because this would be a little past.
A little, yeah. This lobster, if you'll notice, it's kind of speckled, and it's not quite as bright orange as yours was whenever you cooked it. We ordered these lobsters parboiled. This way they come shipped to you, and you'll see when we opened the box, they're packed a little different than what yours were. And so the reason for this is I'm going to be griddling. Okay. And we're in the field. Okay. So we didn't want them live because if they're parboiled, they last longer.
Sure.
So if you go to A&A's website, they will show you, if you don't know how to clean one of these puppies. It's a job. You know, but it's well worth it.
Well, it's not a bad job. It's a fun job. It's neat to see how it all works. So yeah. But their website has all the instructions on how to do that.
So I have already shown Miss Lupe how to clean a lobster, and she helped me clean the rest of those 5 lobsters. So I saved a claw meat right here for you, just to show you what we want you to do is go down one way, turn it around, and we're not going to chop this real small like we did the goose, because the goose is like a red meat and it's going to be, you know, a little tougher to chew. That's why one of the small pieces. These are going to be in bite-sized pieces. So now I've got my goose, I've got my lobster. We're going to the stove.
All right. I've fired it up. I don't know what you want.
Okay.
Medium, high, low.
Now this is what we need to do, because the goose is red meat and it needs to cook a little longer. We're going to have the goose side of the griddle just a little bit higher, a little bit hotter.
So just a little.
Just a little bit more than the lobster side. Now what I've done is put a little bit of oil on there. You could use butter, but oil, and I'm using the peanut oil, has a higher smoke.
So we'll do, you want lobster higher?
So,
goose higher.
Goose higher, lobster
Do
lower.
Goose here. Do goose here.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. You want me to do?
Well, either way.
Okay.
No, let's do the goose.
I do goose lobster.
Yep. All right.
I got my
All right.
mojo down here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good size handful of the goose. Now, don't let the sizzle and the moisture in it bug you. That is my marinade.
Yep.
I drained a little bit of the marinade off, but not all of it. Okay? And then we're going to put a handful of lobster on that side. What we're going to do is we're going to stir and cook both the goose and the lobster. Now, on the lobster, I've got High Mountain seasoning, gourmet fish seasoning.
Very good stuff.
Okay, very good stuff. It'll go on any kind of fish, any kind of fish. So I'm going to put almost a tablespoon on that batch, and you're going to stir that in. I'll set that aside. Okay. Now, I am going to go off camera for just a minute because I need to get my wraps.
You dare leave me in the kitchen alone?
I'm going to leave you in the kitchen alone.
All right, I think I can handle it.
Okay.
I'm liking the color that's in the goose and the bacon.
Isn't that nice color?
I'm liking
Yeah.
that color, yeah, with the peppers, the onions, everything, cranberries.
Yeah, cranberries. The cranberries was actually Andy's idea, because I am one of those kids that cranberries are too healthy. You know, dried fruit and all that stuff.
But it's a good healthy
But I
food.
got to tell you, I said, okay, fine, I'll try it, you know. And sure enough, I tried it and loved it, and it stayed in the recipe. Okay, here we've got a package of egg roll wraps.
Okay.
I went blank. Okay. Now normally I would have a little cup of water, because we're going to have to seal this after we wrap it. Now, I have a big spoon here somewhere. Just there it is. It's a big spoon out of your kitchen. How's it looking?
Good.
That's looking really good.
Yep.
Okay, we can pull it off of the fire and pull that one back off of the fire.
Kill the fire here.
And you're going to take a big spoonful of goose, pardon me. I've been calling them ducks all day.
Duck, it's the other goose.
It's the other goose,
okay.
Yeah. And you'll want to follow the instructions on the package. That's about a spoonful. Lay that on top. Okay. Now, follow the package instructions on how to roll the egg roll. Very simple. Like a triangle. This one's a little thin. We could make them a little thicker. And then once you get that corner, you seal it with a little water. I'm doing it with orange juice. And that is ready to fry. Now, the reason I do this a handful at a time is normally I'm in that zone and I'm in here by myself. So if I mix up and make about 3 of these at a time, I can fry 3 at a time.
Yep.
That way you don't have a whole pile of goose.
Yep. Well, they can go both ways. You could have too much to handle here, And at the same time, you could have too much to handle here. So eat
Yeah,
3 at a time.
it just
seems
kind of
like a
works.
nice batch.
Yeah, kind of works out. Now, since I have helper, we're going to drop that in the oil. We're going to fry that until it's golden brown. Now, while you're doing your goose, what you're going to want to do is have a damp cloth and cover those wraps up with a damp cloth. If you don't, they will dry out and they're not going to be worth a darn. Okay? So, let me get off camera one more time.
So this is browned up pretty quick. Like we talked about, we were about 350, 375 on
Yep,
middle
and you want it golden brown all the way around.
I think we're just about there.
Okay, show them how pretty it is.
So we're about there on the golden brown
Yep.
all the way around. It's in the oil. You don't need to fill that oil all the way up. Fill it part way up and you just kind of roll that in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
roll it
the
around.
The whole thing doesn't need to be.
Yeah, no, you don't have to sink them.
Yep.
You know, you just need enough to.
And because I have a very health conscious wife,
you're going to put it on a paper towel.
Put a paper towel down. Throw that down there with it. That way it's soaking up some of that extra grease that might be hanging around on there. And
okay, now we've showed you how to put those together, and we're going to cook a bunch of them up here in a little bit, and we're all going to feast. But I have got, let's see, we have hot pads. We just happen to have some Camp Chef hot pads. I'm going to pull that off the stove for just a minute.
all right.
Or if you can move that, we could do it there. I'm going to make our sauce.
Okay.
So, here we go. 1 cup orange juice. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add our cornstarch. See, I got this all ready to go on our hunting trip.
And that's a big key to it, you know. The
it
more
really is.
preparation, the more
that
time
you can
you
make
put
it
into
home.
it. Yeah, home, the less work you've got to do. Hence the Ziploc bags and the pre-measured
exactly.
stuff. And it changes everything.
Yeah.
You can spend more time playing and hunting.
Yeah, red pepper, sugar. We're going to take it to the stove. We're going to stir it until it thickens. And that's going to be our, sweet and fire orange dipping sauce. Those red peppers are just going to really make it pop.
I'll slide that over so you get a better view of it there.
Okay. Just make sure that your cornstarch dissolves so it doesn't get lumpy. You don't want lumpy sauce. So I'll let you stir that.
You got it.
And then here's the bowl. When it gets done, we'll pour it right in this bowl. Okay, now what I'm going to do is make Andy's favorite sauce, and it's ponzu. You can find this at some grocery stores, but if you can't, just keep looking. It's different, and you may like it. So just put it in a dipping bowl. Add your ponzu. Then this is some, well, I can't say what it's called, but it's
sriracha, hot
sriracha. Sriracha, hot chili sauce. So you're going to put just a little bit of that in there and stir that up, and that's an extra dipping sauce. Now you can do the hot mustard or anything, you know, that you want, but is that thickening up on us?
A little
pretty
bit,
good?
yeah, it's thickening up a little bit.
Okay.
The trick with the orange juice being in there is it's sugar.
Yes.
You don't want to go too fast; you'll burn it. You'll ruin
well,
it,
and
you'll
also too,
carbonize it.
I'm putting 6 tablespoons of sugar in that 1 cup of orange juice.
Yep.
So, because you've got to have that sweet, because the orange juice is unsweetened.
Okay.
So, and then you've got to have that sweet.
So let's go ahead and dump a little bit in there then.
Okay.
Just go ahead and.
Yeah, just pour a little bit in, and then we'll just thicken up the rest.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to set this down here. I'm going to move it. I'm going to break this in half because I've tried it.
And I haven't. I haven't tried this one before. It
Now
looks
this
good.
one looks like it could have been cooked a little longer, you know, because your wrap on the inside. Bees are liking the dip. Okay. So come over here.
You betcha. Okay, so I'll try this end here in the Orange juice and peppers. Now, how hot are these peppers? And if
Now,
they're too hot, you can dumb it down and do less
yes.
pepper, right?
What I did was I dumbed it down a little bit because not everybody likes really hot chili peppers. But depending on the pepper belly in your family, you can just add more pepper flakes.
That's very good.
You hooked?
I'm hooked. That's very good. So we'll try the ponzu. I love ponzu, but we'll try it with this.
Okay.
You can definitely tell the citrus in there, though.
Yeah.
And that's a good flavor.
Okay, so we've got a winner. So we're going to have the recipe on the video for you, and go check out A&A Lobsters. If you need the outdoor kitchen, here's my man right here, campchef.com. And welcome, thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been Cooking on the Wild Side, and we love you guys, but we're off to go hunting.